Hi, I'm Kendra, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about what a digital breakout is. In a few minutes, you're going to get started on one, and we wanted to give you a little information about them before we do. Have you ever seen those breakout rooms like the one downtown that people do on vacation or for team building? They can be an exciting, engaging way for people to work together on a shared goal. These rooms that you would physically go into led to something called Breakout EDU. And Breakout EDU is this box that has a hasp on it with a bunch of locks. And the locks correspond to different puzzles for students to work on. Both of these games are really engaging and they're really fun. There are lots of parts that you can use to support your content and standards. They are also a wonderful opportunity for students to build the 4Cs, those things that we talk about a lot: communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. Building the soft skills, things like working together, speaking collegially with others, and solving problems that employers and higher education want our students to have. It also supports students in developing perseverance and grit. They need both of those things in order to complete these challenges. With Breakout EDU and digital breakouts, students have to apply the learning from your class or content in a new situation, which can help them learn it a little more deeply. So when you're thinking about these experiences, why would you want to choose a digital breakout? What's the point of it? Digital breakouts can do all of the same things that Breakout EDU can have. The difference is that it's a great free way for you to utilize those same benefits and engagement practices in your classroom using the devices that you already have. It can also give you the flexibility to be creative with the locks and the puzzles that you give students. You could definitely work in a physical lock with a digital breakout if you wanted to. Your creativity is really the only limiting factor when you do these with your students. You're going to work in a team of 3 or 4 to unlock 3 puzzles. Our goal for you is that you will experience some different kinds of puzzles and locks and perhaps see how these might translate into work into your classroom or at your school. We have a couple of reminders and things for you to sort of keep in the back of your mind as you're walking through this process. So the first thing is that you shouldn't need to do a whole lot of researching. But remember, the internet is there for you to use, and it probably will make a couple of them, the locks that you're doing, a little easier to complete. Don't feel like you need to go out on Google and start researching things. That's not the point of these. They're pretty self-contained. So all of the work that you need to do and all of the clues that we've put aside for you are all on one page. The second thing is that there are a lot of clues on the page. You might start to think that some are distractors. They are. So keep that in mind when you're going through these pages. There will be too much information on a lot of them. The next thing is that when you get to one of the puzzles, you'll notice that there are a lot of parts to it. Feel free to jigsaw that, split out things in teams. Maybe you want to break into two pairs. Do what works for your team. You can also work on it all together. It's completely up to you with what's going to work best for your team. For some of the puzzles, you'll have to make copies of files. Keep in mind that you have to share those with your teammates if you want them to help you. We're also going to ask you to really think about the 4Cs. Where are those 4Cs words coming into play during this experience? Where are you collaborating? Where are you creating? Where are you working on your communication? Where are you using critical thinking? All 4 of those are definitely going to make an appearance during this experience. Finally, the locks that you'll be unlocking, and you can see it's sort of blurred out on this image here, they're case sensitive. So when you're putting in the answer, for example, if you think the word that unlocks it is multiplication, you might try entering a capital M or a lowercase m. The lock itself and the clues that were given to you have the information about how to enter the answer, so read closely and feel free to try things. Finally, iPads can be a little bit tricky. You can definitely complete Breakout EDUs with your students with iPads. You'll be able to do it during this session, but there's some things to keep in mind. So if you're using an iPad, use the pop-out square. You can see it on the image up here, where you're opening things in a new tab or a new window, because you won't be able to scroll sometimes using an iPad. Another thing to keep in mind is we want you to make sure you're using Chrome, not Safari. So if you default to using Safari, that's great. But for this experience, since we built so much of it in Google Apps, you'll have a much better experience if you use Google. One thing to keep in mind that has nothing to do with iPads is when you're finished with a puzzle, close out all those tabs that are there. So you might open up a bunch of windows, and this applies to any device. You want to just start out each each lock or each puzzle with just the puzzle page open. Don't leave all the things open because it'll slow down your device and it can make it hard to navigate around the different resources that you have. Last thing is we want you to authenticate your device. So go to login.charleston.k12.sc.us and then we're going to get started. Once you've authenticated, your instructor will give you the password to unlock the link to the first puzzle. Good luck and have fun.